reimagine on me.
Lois Lane. Welcome to Comics League Dark. I am Jared. I'm here with Robert. What's up, man?
I'm sorry, what was that? I completely took off my headphones.
Oh, I'm sure you did. And hey, what's up, Cameron? Yeah, I did have a great Christmas. How are you?
I had an all right one.
All right. But yeah, so today we are going to be discussing, because there's a lot of like articles coming out on the absolute universe being ridiculously succerful, which it is. On that.
We could have told you that.
Yeah, exactly. And I wanted to talk about specifically why and what a lot. It was up next year on. So I want to talk about, as we can go over an article that recently came out about the absolute universe pulling in a ridiculous amount of sales. Okay, so it's
now I want to point one thing very quickly. Let's remind people of this. Clearly, DC, even though it's all been over a year, still treating Absolute as separate.
I know what you mean. It's not like because again, it's like, look, it's like it's its own thing clearly. Now, Perch actually brought up an interesting thing where he said, I wouldn't be surprised if Absolute was originally just supposed to show up to like lead into like KO and what they're doing with KO, but because it was so successful, they're like, do more.
I still think it was the other way around.
Could be. So yeah, so the Absolute books pulled in like 8.2 million units sold, and
that's a lot.
That is a third of that is Absolute Batman, which that's actually low.
It's Batman and it's Scott Snyder.
And yeah, exactly.
I'll bet you want to bet it would have done more if it was Greg Capullo instead of Nick Dragotta.
Probably, but it's like the idea. That is fantastic sales for DC. Has been kicking Marvel's ass recently.
And let's be honest, it's because Marvel does not know what the higher-ups are doing. That's something that a good friend of mine, Exalted Speed, suggests. He thinks the reason why that with Ultimate everything is going on is because they don't know what's going to be happening. Mm-hmm. Say what you will about DC, at least Warner Brothers knows what they're doing.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, exactly. And it's like with the Absolute books. So here's the thing. Here's what DC first off is doing that Marvel isn't. They're offering their customers alternatives, because here's what the Absolute universe basically is. I call it the Return of the New 52, but it's kind of like a fresh universe that takes inspiration from that clearly, and like the Snyderverse and stuff, but they give you, if you want more of like a darker take on the characters and stuff, there's this for you. This is going to stay. It's not going anywhere, but if you want that, hey, it's here. It's here for you. And then if you want like the regular traditional status quo, that's also here.
And the other thing as well, New 52 was kind of restricted by being the only universe, so they had to still keep it faithful to what came before.
Now, the only thing that
Mostly.
The only thing that will make this completely like God tier is if they put Superman and Wonder Woman. No, I'm serious. But I'm like, if you want to make it completely different, that's one thing you can do. If they do that, that'll be like, hats off, DC has won. But anyway, with Marvel, they're taking away options.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's like, I'm like, what the hell is going
on?
But
if it's true what Exalted is saying, that it's not so much malicious, so much as in like, what are we doing? What are we doing? We don't know.
Well, here's the thing. That brings up another reason why the Absolute universe is so successful, or why DC itself has kicked Marvel's ass. DC has a plan.
They have a plan, and I gotta say, Gunn is more the comics guy than Feige.
Oh, yeah. Well, here's the thing.
I'm saying by comparison, obviously. I'm not saying he's brilliant, but
Feige, I don't think really was a comic book guy.
I would argue he was, because here's the thing, dude. You do know he had a starting with Jeff and Donner in the past, right?
Well, yeah, but I'm
And
saying if he really did, would he have gone full all new, all different?
here, right, that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking he's too much of an executive that it overrides his fandomness.
Okay,
That's what I think. I think his executive mindset he's more like he was a fan enough that he's able wanting to keep things close enough as possible in the early days. But now it's like, okay, we got things established. I'm going to look at it from a corporate level now.
Yeah, exactly.
Whereas Gunn, no, Gunn's not a business guy.
Because that's why we have Saffron on there. But
So, yeah.
yeah. So, but with this, it's like with Marvel. Yeah, that makes sense. But Marvel needs to figure out what they're doing because they're taking away like the highest selling Spider-Man, the highest selling Avengers book, which was Ultimates in Spider-Man, and you're essentially giving up because that was not part of Hickman's plan when he restarted the Ultimate Universe. He thought they were going to go along with it.
Here's something I do think. I don't think this is a permanent end to end. Because we already know Endgame, Armageddon's going to play off of Endgame.
But I mean, permanent end to this Ultimate Universe.
No. I'm saying no. We already know this Ultimate Universe is going to play into Armageddon. I think it's just stopping the line here, and they're going to pull a fast one.
Hey, what's up, Hunter? I would be very surprised at that. But
like I said, they've made it clear. Armageddon is playing off of Endgame.
We'll see with that. But it's like but it's like when you look at with Marvel, the thing about it is like also it's like again, Marvel is the personification of a chicken without its head.
Currently, yes.
It's because it's like they used to because when you look at Marvel, and I was talking to Robert about this before, like earlier today. The thing about Marvel is like look at the way they do events. Because when you look at like let's say like Doom or
they front load it.
The current X bullshit story that they put all the books and all the tie-ins coming out at once. DC, look at how they stretched out, healthily stretched out. KO, so it's like you can pick up everything and not be offloaded.
I mean, the only book that got added in was The Flash because they were already wrapping up the one run.
Yeah, exactly.
So it left it open.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm like, okay, wait a minute here. So
because any of the other tie-ins, we already knew it was going to tie in from the beginning of All In. We knew Justice League, Superman, and Titans.
Oh yeah, and they made it.
And then Aquaman.
And then Marvel, when they try and tie stuff in, they end up doing some really BS stuff.
Dude, the KO has been a pretty dang good, fun event.
It's not my favorite DC event, but it's not like. But it's like, okay, you know what? It's a dumb, fun event. I'll take it. Considering
that's the thing, though. It's not meant to be a game-changing event. It's just meant to be let's just put up some popcorn and just sit down and eat.
Yeah. It's not a reboot event. It's not a crisis.
No, but it's playing in that wheelhouse just for the stakes.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's not. We already know it's not going to end with it.
Now, NJ, the thing is because Perch addressed one of the reasons why the absolute books are outselling the main books is the fact that the main line. Now, Robert, you can argue against this or argue with this, but according to Perch, at least he says the main line, a lot of the books have stale storytelling.
I'd argue that
doing
strongly.
The same thing over and over again, but it's like okay, it's okay. But the point is that like with the absolute, at least from like the general audience perspective.
Oh yeah, from the general audience, they think it's new and fresh, and for a lot, it is. Unless you're a super Twitter fans.
Oh my God, we'll talk about that in a second. Trust me, because that book keeps bringing out the stupid in people. Have you noticed that?
I'm sorry, super Twitter has gotten worse.
Welcome to my world, brother.
I'm ashamed to be a Superman fan on Twitter.
Britt and I have been in the trenches of this for years, brother. But anyway.
But yeah, let's talk a bit about that. Well, again, each of these books are drastically different. Again, in a way that, let's be honest, if they didn't have the alternative of the main universe, this would have bombed.
I don't think it would have.
Okay, maybe not bombed, but it would have been people who are loving it there's a lot more who would have trashed it because they're like, you're replacing
It would have been much more controversial if that's what you're
compared
saying.
to 52.
Yeah, exactly.
Because 50, like I said, that was the thing 52 was locked in on because it was replacing it. You had to still be close enough to what came before. Here, because you still have the main universe going, you could be as radically different as you want. In the case of Wonder Woman, that was actually a detriment at first for Kelly.
So Cameron has as asked. Let's go into it. So here's the thing. So spoilers for Absolute Superman. The current arc ends with Superman
at 14 issues, finally.
At 14 issues, he gets like they show where the bluish suit comes from, and it's like, so the Kents have netted him the blue suit. That's not the suit he wears in the covers. It's still like the armor suit, but it's like obviously inspired by it. And then
because it's a patchwork suit. You know that's not gonna because it's a patchwork suit. Because you see patches on it and everything. You already know this is not gonna be a permanent suit. You never have patches on a permanent suit.
Yeah, exactly. But then they basically showed the Clark Kent name and stuff. So
by the way, dude, do you realize it's the new movie S?
Oh yeah,
it's the new movie S.
Okay.
But people are now upset saying, I thought this Superman wasn't going to have Clark Kent have Clark Kent. He was just going to be Kal-El all the time.
Refer to the episode on Robert's channel that we did about Superman Twitter, because that's what it is. Because it's like there's a growing, well, not really, I wouldn't say growing.
No, a vocally louder.
A vocally louder. And Jay Heat's here, so I'll play his intro. Hey, what's up, Jay Heat?
Blame on. How's everybody doing tonight?
Good. How was your holiday?
Pretty good. Got to see the sights. Went out of state for a couple of days. It was a good time.
Dope. So we're talking about the Absolute Universe and Absolute Superman, and we're
how it's just killing it.
Like, I'm actually surprised by this. Hold on.
Yeah,
okay,
go ahead.
we're good now. I'm actually surprised by this because I did not expect the Absolute to take off as fast as it did, because you got Marvel's new Ultimate, and that's pretty much wrapping up even the event title. Well, spoilers for a couple months from now. Endgame, surprise.
A couple of months? No, it's next week.
Wait, it starts next week? I thought it was going to bleed into the new year.
No, it starts next week. It's that the final issues are going to bleed out as it goes through.
Okay. All
right.
Yeah.
Exactly. But so how caught up on Absolute Superman are you?
I'm up to the point where Martha dies in her sleep.
So you're the most recent issue.
Yes.
So have you seen Super Twitter?
The Superman Twitter is pissed off that he gets the blue suit and the Clark Kent name.
Basically, they're saying, I thought this was supposed to be Kal-El all the time. No Clark Kent. But it's like, we don't even know if he's going to take Clark Kent or not. It's just the name that they called him. And they're upset about the blue suit. And they're basically once again saying, oh, it's once again showing that the immigrant can only become true if he has American values.
No, that's not. Too many people overthink this BS.
And it doesn't help, as I told Jared, that the S on the patchwork costume is the new movie S.
Yes, for synergy purposes. But that was a nice detail. But back to the bad. Yes, although Superman is a story that as an allegory to immigration, it's mostly based off Moses.
Exactly. That's the other thing people keep thinking it's a Christ allegory. It was always a Moses.
It's the regular Absolute S. It's not the
really.
It looks like it, but it's not that.
I have the back cover on the issue right next to me. It looks identical to it.
Probably structured similarly, but you could tell it's a different S.
Yeah, it's a different S.
Okay. You're right. They're just way too similar. That's the thing. They're way too similar.
Yeah, exactly. Do they still want Lois as a love interest or someone new? I don't know.
No one said anything about that. They're not talking about that.
Yeah, but the point is, it's like, look, it's like the problem is it's like you didn't think that the Clark Kent or the blue suit was going to show up at all.
And these are the same people who think that Ra's al Ghul, Vandal Savage. I mean Ra's al Ghul. I'm sorry, he looks too much like Vandal Savage.
He does.
But they're saying that it's an attack against Pakistan.
And I go, what? It's like, it's like, okay. Well, once again, Jay, I said this before you hopped on, but what is it about Absolute Superman that brings out the stupid in people?
Well, I wouldn't say so much as that because it's not stupid per se, but more so just the recency bias of it all, especially when you factor movies, synergy. Because I'm not going to say Absolute Superman is an edgy title; it's just a slow burn.
Well, there's that. Yeah.
It is very much a slow burn. But out of all the Absolute books, I would not say this is the weakest one by far. I would not say that. I would argue Green Lantern or Martian Manhunter is the weakest title.
Martian Manhunter more so because I can't understand what the hell is going on in that book.
Yeah, but I would say this. I think the other reason is, of course, without getting political, let's just simply say the encouragement of certain viewpoints being more and more favored and feeling they can be untouchable.
Mm-hmm.
Without going any further.
Yeah, exactly.
I do think that's part of the problem. These people feel they're untouchable. They can just spout this stuff out.
And it's like, and I get it. They'll say comics have always been political, but I'm like, you guys are
not like this.
You guys are reading in stuff
to an extent, and I really didn't want to mention this, but I might as well say it now.
Yeah, go ahead.
To an extent, because they're actually making an allegory or something, or making you think within the story itself. They half the time they don't even intend it to go as deep as some people make it out to be. X-Men is a perfect example. X-Men is more of an allegory on the human condition itself, not just racism specifically.
Yeah. Right.
It can apply to racism, but that's not the main main aspect of it. Another example would be Kingdom Come. That although that's more of a Civil War story, quote unquote, it plays into a similar theme.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
So now let's talk about Absolute Batman first. We'll talk about Wonder Woman last because that has a more obvious answer as to why that's so successful. But with Batman,
Batman. Well, one, it's Scott Snyder.
And
two, it's Batman.
Yeah, and three, you're able to go completely ridiculous because here's the thing: Britt actually summarized it perfectly. Was she?
Sorry.
It's basically Michael Bay's Batman.
Pretty much.
I'm like that is 100. Batman punts a literal baby.
Exactly.
But yeah, that's the funny part about it. That I really think is kind of cool. And the only thing that I don't necessarily like, but it's not as big of a deal. I wish that Scott Snyder had not flown through so many of Batman's rogues with the Absolute Origins, because it's like,
oh yeah,
think about it. We got all of his friends are instantly turned into their rogues. I would have liked that went on for a little longer. However, because there's so many, it's not that big of a deal.
And I gotta say, yeah, some of the redesigns of the rogues are terrifying.
Oh, Absolute Clayface being just people amalgamated. I'm like, the hell?
Absolute, and I gotta say, Absolute Bane's. The fact that you're like, did he kill him? Oh, barely.
Yeah, or Absolute Poison Ivy being basically a nervous system plant. How do you design this? It's good, but I'm like,
I think a lot of it's Ragoda.
Well, it's also because what was Scott Snyder doing before this? A lot of horror comics.
That's true. American Vampire.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm like, that would make sense. What do you want to say, Jade?
Quick nod. I don't know. We will cover the solicitations going to the new year eventually. With March 2026. Yeah. It's probably not going to be by New Year's Day. I'm gonna go ahead and be honest by that. It's probably going to bleed into January 2nd or the week after.
Right.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, I'm Poison Ivy. Solicit spoiler for this upcoming comic. Poison Ivy in main continuity takes over as mayor of Gotham. I'm like, finally, you're doing something with Ivy other than being Harley's post-Joker rebound. You're actually doing something with her in a villain.
I know.
And we're getting rid of Vandal Savage as the mayor of Gotham. I hate it.
He's not the mayor. He's commissioner. I think he's still commissioner, isn't he?
Yeah, he's still commissioner.
I hate that. Can we undo that at some point?
No, well, knowing Ivy, she'll probably get rid of him.
Good.
But yeah, I
Please.
gotta say, I am really liking that Ivy is finally tying into the Bat books fully.
It's about damn. It's not like she was a bad character.
No, it's just
Well,
they
to be
haven't.
fair, but her being such a good on the good side, it makes it hard to put her in without making her go back to being a villain.
No, because what's cool about this, Ivy is then forced to team up with Batman.
Oh yeah, and here's the other thing is, with how Wilson's been handling her, she's clearly not going to be like, okay, I'm now mayor and governor or mayor. I'm going to start implementing green stuff. It's like, no, she's not that obsessed.
No,
Yeah,
okay,
exactly.
that's what people misconstrued. Poison Ivy, although is similar to Ra's al Ghul being an eco advocate or eco,
Well,
ba-
depends
I'm
on the
keeping-
writer.
depending on the writer, of course, to an extent. But at the end of the day, Ivy is a femme fatale. At the
That's-
end of the day,
Well,
Or at least
yeah.
that's like what she grew into. So, but again, I like that they're finally doing stuff with Ivy that's actually something pretty damn cool. I'm like,
An original.
okay, you have. I'm actually going to add that book to my pull list because I want to see what does Ivy look like. That,
But I have to
the minute-
wonder. Yep.
The minute you said Ivy becomes the mayor of Gotham, I'm like, that's the elevator pitch for the book. I'm like, I'm in.
Now, but I have to wonder though, is this a last ditch Hail Mary to keep the book going?
I thought the book was selling really well.
We don't know. Maybe it's not by now. Maybe there's other reasons because this does feel like something incorporating it into the main book. Usually, is not always a good sign when it's been around this long without it.
We'll see. But so back to Absolute. So let's talk about Absolute Wonder Woman. It's not just because the Tom King run is horrible that Absolute Wonder Woman is so successful. The other thing about it is like, because it's been so long since Wonder Woman books like leaned into the mythology part of Wonder Woman, and this one is like all that.
Mm-hmm.
That's the other thing. And Tevia asked question: the absolute success. Why couldn't Marvel just keep Ultimate Marvel to compete?
It's different.
It's different.
It's different. And Tevia, it's also because and DC, it's in a better spot.
Yeah, from a sales perspective and from an opinion perspective.
Well, not just that, but also from Disney's handling of things.
Yeah, exactly.
Whereas Warner Brothers, I should say, is in a better spot. Disney was Marvel. They have no clue what's going on. They have no clue what the higher ups are doing. So they are floundering.
Yeah, exactly. I would believe.
Now some books are taking advantage of that, like Hulk and Thor.
Yeah, but so then you get but as far as like Absolute Wonder Woman, the other thing that's like really cool about this is because again,
it's probably the least changed. Let's be honest, it's the least changed
in terms of characterization. Yeah, but the thing about it is, and Kelly brought this up, the original plan was to basically make her just the warrior. It would have flopped if they did that.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that they just take Diana, the character of Diana, just put her in this scenario. This also proves it's possible to do original stories with Wonder Woman.
And here's the other thing. Kelly even said she had a hard time trying to think of something different to do. Once they came up with that, as slight of a different as it is, and let's be honest, compared to the others, it is slight. She was then able to move forward. So again, her change is the most least and drastic, but it was still enough.
And Tevia, he's talking about the higher ups at Marvel Comics themselves.
Marvel Comics and Disney.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, compared to the other stuff, it is like the least, for the most part, changed. But the other thing that and actually, Wes brought up in his video, he said the thing about it is that's the only one where Wonder Woman acts like a straight up
superhero,
good hero.
Yeah, because even Batman is questionable.
The other ones are more anti-heroes.
Oh, especially that Batman annual.
Yeah, exactly. Which wasn't as bad as people said it was. But anyway,
agreed.
The thing about Wonder Woman, no, and I have a theory, and I wouldn't be surprised if this is actually a thing, that the way Absolute Wonder Woman works, that she has a passive power that no one knows about, that she makes anyone more peaceful when they're around her.
Given the Absolute Wonder Woman crossover with Batman currently, I wouldn't be surprised.
And given the
yeah.
And given the fact that Cersei had said in issue 1 that like when I'm around her, it's like I can't be angry.
And not that, I do like how even when they're doing this crossover, it's not a crossover in the traditional sense. It's we see them meeting in one book, and then we're going to see a separate meeting in the next one.
The other thing I love about this, because Kelly said, I do like that Kelly said Diana for the foreseeable future is not going to go to the island or like rejoin the Amazons. I like that because that would be the obvious thing to do, and I'm like, no, I'm not going to go with. I'm like, thank you. You're doing original stuff and unexpected stuff.
Exactly.
And it's like even when Wonder Woman fought Queen Clea and she let Clea go and goes, I'm giving you this opportunity to turn your life around. I'm like, that is 100% what Diana would do.
That's what I'm saying. Keep the least change.
In terms of characterization and how she would act, this is just Wonder Woman.
Mm-hmm.
There's a reason why a lot of people that read it are like, this is just the main Wonder Woman book right now. And you know what? The sales reflected in terms of it being so good. And plus, you get the freaking art by first Sherman and then IU. So I'm like,
boy, they are, and they're really pushing Sherman.
And Sherman's a great Sherman for like the weird stuff that he has to draw with Wonder Woman, and he is like murdering.
Yeah, and this year Sherman has, well, not as much as Dan Mora, has still done a lot. The Dark Pattern book, random issues here and there of other DC books.
Also, how about the fact? So you also the other thing, it's a small like advantage of the book, but it's a big one. Jordi Belair on colors, because here's the thing about Absolute Wonder Woman, because she uses a lot of red in this. It looks like it's freaking glowing.
I know.
Every time I read this, here's the thing: every single page of this damn book looks like it's from Clash of the freaking Titans.
I know. But I said, I'm so surprised. I mean, Sherman just did the Superman tie-in issue to DCKO. Again, how fast is Sherman?
And then you even have Bergara, who was filling on issue 14. That art style looks straight out of Greek pottery. So all of this just fits with what you want to do with the book. I'm like, well done, DC. Well done.
Yep.
And it's one of those books that I'm like, this will go down not just as a great First off, Wonder Woman needs more good runs and good Elseworld stories. This is that. This is going to be known as one of the best Wonder Woman runs. Period. Forget Elseworlds.
I mean, that's not a high bar to stand on. I mean, compared to Superman and Batman, let's be honest. Out of the Trinity, she does not get as many highlighted stories. I'm not saying. I'm not saying. Yeah, I'm not saying she's bad, or I'm not saying in the rights issues that's mostly boils down to TV shows. When it comes to adaptations, sometimes it's better for a character to work as an ensemble rather than as a standalone series. Oh. But that's TV and animation. That's a whole different conversation.
I just realized something. What? Given how we already know that Absolute Brainiac is going to be an Inspiration Man tomorrow, what if they're going to take from Absolute Wonder Woman?
Oh, if they use the characterization of Diana in Absolute Wonder Woman in the movie, that will be the best Wonder Woman movie.
I won't be surprised.
Take as much as you want from Absolute Wonder Woman. I take it all.
It's just not the being in hell part.
Don't do the hell part, but in terms of characterization stuff, take it all. Rip it off as far as I'm concerned.
Yep.
And again, that's the other thing that Absolute does really well. It balances the warrior part, because she has badass warrior parts, with the peace-loving like character. Like, there's a part where Kelly even references her talking to animals, where Diana's talking to birds, and she's like, "I've never seen like a dove before," because she lived in hell. I'm like, God damn, this is so good. Now, for Absolute Flash, pretty good actually, I must say. Unique, and the thing about it, the art is like extremely is the highlight of the book, and obviously if it's like a Flash book, the art is really important because you want to be able to do the Speed Force well.
Now I'll say Green Lantern, it's like we still haven't got. It's really a slog.
It is a slog, because I'm like, okay, Bill to the.
I'm not hating it. Hating it.
Kilowog being evil in this, I'm like, Oh, this is good.
Well, Abensur with evil.
Abensur, Sinestro being like that. I'm like, okay, that's what I think the hint was as to what like the main thing is going, but they need to like move to it. They need to move to it.
And I'm sorry, but I will say, I am not a fan of Absolute Renee Montoya be so blasé about being an affair partner.
I'm not a big fan. See, here's the thing. That's the part where I'm like, what? Like, no. And then the Absolute book that I'm like, that I still like, but have trouble with is Absolute Martian Manhunter.
I would say my favorite part of that is the see-through pages.
Yeah, those are fun. Those are that's when you take a gimmick but do it really well. But it's like the story, it's really hard to get, and maybe that's intentional, but I'm like, I don't know what's going on here. It's like, okay. But besides that, so of the Absolute books, it's like the Trinity are obviously the best, followed by, I think it's the Trinity, and then Flash, Green Lantern, and Martian.
I'm still curious on what. Oh, we did talk about the Absolute Evil book.
Oh, yeah, and then we get the Absolute Evil book, where it's the idea that the Absolute Justice League is the Legion of Doom. And I'm like, yeah, a universe based off of evil, that would make sense.
Yep.
And then we get like all.
I also love how the Joker never jokes, and that's what actually makes him more scary.
Yeah, because when he laughs and jokes, he turns into that creature. Absolute Joker being like a dragon thing that wears baby skins. I'm like, that sounds like the Joker though. So,
and yeah, he's now living in the mansion.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm looking forward to seeing like them expanding more, and now also seeing the Absolute Green Arrow. Who is going to be Absolute Green Arrow, or is it a prequel? Okay, so
I think it's going to be either Roy or Connor.
Or if they really want to take it out of left field, Dinah.
I was about to say, or Dinah, or Mia,
or
Emily, or Emiko.
Yeah, exactly. I would be more of a fan of Dinah because like that's the one that's like, wow.
Sonic Canary.
Yeah, exactly. Or like she's Black Arrow.
I'll say this also. I wouldn't be against if Dinah's black in this universe.
Yeah, I'd be fine with that. It's like it's an Elseworld, so it's like, all right. But it's like continuing on. It's like it's and then we see like Absolute Lex Luthor and stuff. So I'm like, there's every time that here was the great thing the Absolute Universe did. They didn't overwhelm.
Nope.
Next month you got Superman. The point is they launched the books one at a time, introduce each element one at a time, so you don't get a like front-loaded lore that you all of a sudden have to know, and you have to like.
Or a 5-year window.
I know, exactly. Because I'll admit that was something that I didn't like. But it's like the idea that they didn't rush. And Scott Snyder said that was legit like an intention. Do not rush. And I'm like, thank you.
And again, that's the advantage of, and that was the big disadvantage of New 52. They had to rush it because you're starting it up and you cancel the original line. That is the advantage of.
What entity is Absolute Thawne? I didn't get it. Absolute Thawne is the
Flash.
Is the woman. She's like she's the main antagonist of Absolute Flash.
Now here's the thing. Though. I said it before, and I'll ask it again. Do you think she's a gender swap, or do you think she's an ancestor?
I think she will. That's a good question.
That's a tough question.
Thing is, it could be either way because they have set up both. So I'm like,
What do you think, Jay Heat? Jay Heat? Is he here?
All right, he's muted. But anyway, but it's like with Absolute Thawne, it's like I think personally, I would prefer just make it an ancestor instead of like the go, because then you have to bring in the time travel thing, and then you have to worry about what's the future of the Absolute Universe look like. I'm like, just simplify it.
Well, that's the other thing. Like, would she know she's from that future, or whatever the future is?
That could be true as well. And so we also know that in KO, we're getting the Absolute Trinity ostensibly fighting the main Trinity.
Ending with Superman versus Superman.
which that's actually going to be really fun. So
Now,
I'm
let's be honest. This is them clearly further in their timeline.
yeah, way further in their timeline. An interesting fact, though, Superman has his black suit.
Yeah, interesting.
So I'm like that. So there are two ways that could be. It could be it's not in the future, but like in the past, or it is like eventually he goes back to the black suit.
That's true too.
It really,
Or they'll update the artwork.
yeah, it could be just that. It could be just that. But it's like I'm looking forward to seeing that match, and I would love to see like an interaction between Absolute Wonder. I would love. Here's the way you could do this: Wonder Woman fights Absolute Wonder Woman. She then uses the lasso and snaps Absolute Wonder Woman out of Darkseid's control.
Ooh, well, depends if that will work or not.
That's true, and they have to team up. That would be cool. NJ, yeah, Scott.
Well, yeah, that's what we're saying.
It won't affect the timeline, so it could be they just went with the gray suit with the black suit, and it's like it's not going to really. I think what he meant by that though is like it's not like you're going to have to worry about when you're reading Absolute Wonder Woman. Where does this take place in connection to KO?
That's what I'm saying. This is probably further in the line when Darkseid succeeds in taking over, but this DCKO is going to prevent that from happening, or it's setting up that that's going to be the next event.
Yeah, exactly. But it's like that's the other thing I really love about the Absolute Universe. It's separate. It's treated as separate from the main. Because you know, some idiots could have decided, okay, we're going to actually bring it into the main universe because it's so successful. Nope. They're like, okay, let's keep it separate because that's part of the fun.
Exactly.
That's why I think the Absolute Universe, I think, will be around for the long haul. At least 2 more years. Let me put it to you that way. At least 2 more years. Now, let's move on to our next topic of the night. So, Robert, let's talk about Wonder Woman and Trinity. So let's talk about Wonder Woman 28 first. So it's the end of the Mouse Man arc. And
disappointing is all I would say. I didn't earn my ire. It's just disappointing.
Okay, so for my ire, Grail gets killed off screen. So Jahid, have you read Wonder Woman 28?
Okay, so is this? I've glimpsed through it. I would have to reread it again, so I only know the cliff.
Do you mind if I spoil it?
Go ahead.
Yeah, so they keep showing Matriarch in the future killing Wonder Woman's rogues, and then she faces off against Grail, and you think there's gonna be this epic battle. So it goes back to Wonder Woman in the past, like the perspective,
and present,
and then we cut back, and Grail has a sword in her chest, and she's dead.
Okay, so they're trying to set up.
It's the cliche that having this
should not be able to kill Grail that easily.
again. It's the cliche story setup. It's a cliche setup.
I get you don't want to waste you don't want to waste panel space with a dragged out fight, but you could have done a little. You could have done a little bit more. Maybe maybe not do a backup and just do a double length issue for this.
And then Diana is like talking to Mouse Man, and she goes, I'll give you a choice. I could leave you on this island. The people can do whatever they want to you. Or I could bring you to the island where the Amazons will torture you and kill you for everything you've done for the people. I'm like, what has Mouse Self done to the Amazons? That's the thing about it. I'm like, he's not the sovereign.
I know.
So and the Amazons are not that. Why is King writing them so barbaric?
I mean, it's easy. Okay, I'm just saying this in general.
Yeah, go ahead.
It's easy to fall into this trap with the Amazons, as Wonder Woman, especially because of the warrior archetype. Hence why I know DCAU is not perfect, but it had a very solid structure. We can all agree on that. You already had the warrior archetype with Shira, with Hawkgirl. That was already there. Which that way you could focus on Diana being peaceful and an ambassador and mean business. I'm not saying they balanced it well between, Wonder Woman being a badass warrior and a diplomat for peace and truth, but at least there was an attempt to balance there, or at least you had Shira as a foil to Diana, whereas in Thomas King's run, there's no balance at all. It's
none.
Even the New 52 Wonder Woman run balanced this aspect better. And they just turned Diana into female Kratos. I'm gonna go ahead and be honest.
Yeah, exactly. And then NJ says King also made Selena solo 3 flashes. Yeah, remember that? Does Tom King even care about Diana's one of them? All he cares about is Trinity. That's
And even then,
and even then, he makes. See, here's the thing. It was very telling because King did an interview and he legit owns that Trinity is unlikable, and he owns the mistake. He goes because he couldn't find her actual voice, and
he clearly tried to. He clearly tried to.
And I'm like, brother, before you create a character, you really have to have that down pat.
I think that goes back to him being assigned to do it.
That's true.
Yeah,
There was a case of where he had no choice but to do it.
Now, here's the thing. I'm going to say something that I truly do not expect to happen. So the next arc of Wonder Woman is called the Wonder War. It takes place from the solicits and from what King said, exclusively in the future. So first off, doesn't matter what happens in this arc. It's just in the future. We can just ignore it. But second off, it's like it's going to be Diana teaming up with adult Trinity. So it's like, first off, Diana's actually doing something. But second off, I want to see how, and now that he knows the issue, is he going to try and fix it in these 8, because it's going to be 8 issues, or is he just going to like write it out?
Could that be part of why they needed the rework things, the 2 issues?
Could be. I don't expect that to happen because it's Tom King and he's a narcissist, but we'll see what happens with that. So,
but at least, I give him props though. He's actually acknowledging and not setting the blame to someone else.
Okay, I'll give you that. So then
Sorry,
we get.
I'm just gonna make this brief anecdote. Sorry, haven't been talking a whole lot tonight.
No, go ahead. No.
But yeah, Trinity. I just finished the Trinity mini series with my niece.
We're about to go over that.
Great transition, dude. There you go.
Okay. Are we doing the clip, or are we just gonna keep going? Transition.
Well, no, it's part of the.
Okay. We're not doing the bit. All right. Moving on. But Jared is frozen. Oh, thank you. We're back. And all right, Trinity. I get what they're trying to do with this multi-point POV story. But Teen Trinity with Jason Todd, like right before Bosnia. I know you're going for the tragic romance angle, but for God's sake.
Well, to be fair, it was also a setup for what to help for to have someone on the other side be there to help Steve.
But here's the thing, even on that, some reviewers are saying that Jason basically sets up Steve coming back. He doesn't.
Not really. But I will say, I did like how King went out of the way to make it clear time is irrelevant. So that's why this happened during the time Jason, even if it was brief, was dead.
Yeah, of course. But it's with the Trinity series, and I'm like, okay, it's just the problem with the Trinity series is that, again, Diana played no part in it.
Now, I keep saying this. I think it was a case of King went this in with the book being called Trinity, and then marketing added in Daughter of Wonder Woman. And let's be honest, if marketing did that, he ain't going to just rewrite the whole book to match the title.
Well, here's the thing. He shouldn't, if he's writing a book about the Daughter of Wonder Woman, Diana has to play a part in it.
That's true, but he really wanted to focus on father and daughter. I get it.
Because he's an idiot. So there is that.
Not going on that one.
Yeah, because the man has very strong, oddly, probably romantic feelings for Steve Trevor.
Okay, but
okay, let's tone down the slander. All right.
NJ, no, because here's the thing: those backups were doing well. This was done. To expand it.
Yeah, so it's not just she's a Batman character. Oh yeah, I should talk about Trinity, and has only connection to already dead Steve. This title could have been called Daughter of Steve. Yeah, but no one's gonna buy a book called Daughter of Steve Trevor.
Wait, how is Trinity a Batman character?
No, because of the Robin outfit for toddlers.
Robin outfit, because Selena teaches her how to put on makeup and goes, I know Diana would never teach you that. I'm like, hello, she wouldn't prioritize it.
Now, here's the thing, though. I just realized something about that. That could have been just from Selena's perspective that Diana wouldn't do it, not as a fact.
Yeah, but the fact that it's in this book that doesn't feature Steve, but that doesn't feature Diana by a writer that had Diana get punched in the face, that's why I take issue with that.
Now I will also say this. Hold on. Oh yeah, I think one of the big parts of this book was to set up that even if Steve does come back, it's to make sure that because he knows his daughter exists, that he will make sure, even if he does somehow they undo it and he comes back, that she exists.
Yeah, the way I kind of took it is like, let's say they even like retcon it, and let's say they do time travel and it goes back, and they do stop Emily and stuff, and then it undoes everything. It's like eventually they will have the kid.
Yeah, it reminds me of there was one issue I remember during X-Men Fatal Attraction where you had Jean Grey talking to Rachel, daughter from the future. And she even says, in fact, if it works, there's a good chance you might even exist. To which Rachel said, well, that would mean you and Scott will be having a kid, and that wouldn't happen unless you mean that's the plan. It's one of those type of things where trying to make sure the kid that you met from a possible future is for certain.
Which that go which that's other Brit. Oh my god, she's throwing tomatoes at Trinity.
Mm.
Ah, of course, and Brit's intro's here, so I'll play it.
He's back.
But yeah, the thing about it is it's like again, you could, instead of giving him Wonder Woman, and they only gave him Wonder Woman because of that damn Supergirl books. That's another reason why I hate that book. But I'm like, you could have just given him a Steve Trevor book, and just because he does a lot with like obscure characters that people somehow like.
Yep.
They can easily put Steve aside for Trinity's retcon origin.
No, that's not, NJ. That's not what we're saying.
Here's the problem, NJ. With if what Robert says is correct, DC won't retcon the Steve being involved with the Clay origin.
Yeah, all this is to make sure even if Steve they will stop his death or something, it can allow and which will take away the incentive for Diana to create Trinity.
Eventually, it will happen.
Yeah, basically it's to be like, no, because he knows she exists, he's going to be like, I'm going to still make sure you exist regardless.
Yeah, it's like eventually we'll have a kid. It may not be now, but it could be later. But it's like that's the point. And plus the fact that this book is so in the future, you could do that. So there's like a wide so Tavia, at least King admitting she's unlikable is the first indicator of that. The sales of the book basically cratering because currently issue 5 was in the 190s out of 200, mind you.
Still outdid most of Cheshire.
I know, right? That's how you know that series is like. That's how you know that series sucked when Trinity outsold.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, but like that's like. That's the funny thing about it. It's
but like I said, they have the back door though. We've been focusing mostly on we just have the baby that gives them a reset.
Yeah, but it's now if they go with the reset option, the question becomes it's like, okay, so what will they do? Because you know that eventually, because you could say that eventually she still turns into that version of Trinity.
Now what's that? Now when there's a different history going forward.
I mean, again, Trinity doesn't even play. Okay, outside of this, I don't know the marketing or the official announcement with Matriarch. All I know is that they're going to try to do a bit more with Trinity. Mm-hmm. But she hasn't. Outside going into this, she was mostly an expedition piece, and she did a little. Okay, what's the best way I can say this? She was a supporting character to the Super Sons in the backup, and the only reason I'm bringing this up is for accuracy. Mm-hmm. Like, if you want, first of all, with the reign of the Superboys, allegedly, I don't know if John's getting the age or they're just
no. They're not. It's the bad guys going back in time.
Oh, this is a time travel story. Okay.
In no way are they de-aging John.
because I just don't think it's gonna happen. I mean, I feel like that ship has sailed.
Real quick, Britt brings up King and DC are trying to force Steve to be relevant by making Diana a mom, and even worse, a deadbeat mom is so sexist. Not every female character has to be a mom. Diana also never had the build up with Steve or to be a mom. Period. Yeah, exactly. It's like all of this is like, and she wants a kid now.
In the gold, okay, Steve and Diana, that aspect mostly bled into during the Silver Age. But during the Golden Age, Steve was a mentor figure to Diana when she first got off the island. That's all he was.
And post-crisis.
And post-crisis, exactly.
More post-crisis.
It's more well known for post, and that's why if I brought back Steve, I would bring somehow because he like cheated death. There was a consequence, and then he's brought in, but as an
it might be delayed.
It might be delayed or something like that. But it's like he's essentially an old man, so they can't be together, but he still is like a mentor. That's the way I would do it.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like
wait, you would try to one more day, Steve Trevor?
It's not no. The
no.
Still happened. I'm not rebooting it. It's just like he comes back as an old man and they can't be together. That's the point.
Yeah.
But it's like, wait, didn't Diana's daughter also appear in Sam?
He's about Lyra. He's about Lyra.
Yeah, that's her daughter in the Golden Age, Lyra.
Oh yeah, no, Lyda.
That's it, Lyda.
Lyda, thank you.
Steve spent more time in his 85 years of existence not being a love interest. Exactly. So it's like this, and it's because of that. It's because of the movie that they started to really force him to be like a love interest. Because again, Steve was a fighter pilot, and Patty Jenkins' father was a fighter pilot, so she kept trying to make him relevant.
Mm-hmm.
That's why, for her own admission, mind you. That's not me talking to my ass.
Right.
Right. Okay. If that's a direct quote.
It is. It pretty much is a direct quote. but yeah, in Steve's whole existence, Golden Age, kind of a little bit of Silver Age, but then as soon as post-crisis happens, he's not a love interest at all, and never was.
In the Golden Age, they were interest for a very short period of time. I would say about 5, maybe 10 years, and then he moved on with No, I'm thinking of Silver Age. I'm sorry, I got the.
And part of his death is what led into part of him being wounded and all that stuff is what led into the white suit era, and then he died.
Thank you.
Also, mind you, they broke up in New 52, and they broke up in frickin' Rebirth and weren't together for 5 years, King.
Mm-hmm.
No, I'm talking about the 2017 one, Cameron.
Okay.
The EU did more damage. No, it didn't.
No,
do more
that
damage.
had nothing to do with it. That had nothing to do with it.
Snyderverse had nothing to. The DCU had nothing to do with it. All right.
Right.
But I will say this: in the New 52, they weren't really much of a thing. In the New 52, she was kind of
briefly.
It was like for a very brief period of time, like right after the Super Wonder breakup. I want to say it was like maybe one volume.
No. What happened was they dated briefly, broke up. Because like he got in danger with the David Graves thing. She was with Superman for the entire New 52, and then when DC contrively killed him, that's when Diana got back together with Steve, and she was there until G. Willa Wilson broke them up.
Mm-hmm.
And they were broken up until King got on the book.
Yep.
Something to do with Aphrodite. I don't remember. I barely paid attention to Wonder Woman.
Aphrodite got killed. I've done a stream about it. Steve also worked with Amanda Waller. He lost my respect. There are good people that work for Amanda Waller.
Yeah, exactly. Especially if it was the New 52 version.
He's a government stooge.
It didn't make him a love interest, NJ. So let me this way: Steve being a character or a love interest is not necessary.
It's the safest option if you're gonna force.
Also, it's not the same as the Rucka's Rebirth run because Rucka's Rebirth one was vindictive as hell.
Let me put it this way: here's the thing I've said before about Steve. He is the only recognizable option. Unlike Superman or Batman, where you had during the fertile eras of the Silver and Bronze Age, coming up with multiple love interests for them that have stuck, Diana never did.
and it's like with Superman, the issue you have with Superman is that the fan base won't allow him to have other love interests.
Well, yeah, but even then, you can still recognize Lori and Lana. So I'm saying, no, you still have
Exactly.
that's what I'm saying. You have love interest you can recognize long term still, but Wonder Woman only had Steve.
Because
Wait, Lori was the
I'm
mermaid,
sorry,
right?
Jimenez.
Yes.
No one cares about Trevor Barnes and Simone. No one gives a crap about.
Again, I don't blame Simone for Nemesis. That was established before her run, and she was stuck with it.
Yeah, that was
No,
editorial.
you know what I do blame with her? Her having Diana say, "I wasn't with you because I loved you. I just needed someone to reproduce with."
Well, again, that was done clearly to write it out because, yeah.
There was a number of ways you could have you could have written that out.
At least it wasn't Avengers 200, so I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah,
oh gosh.
And NJ brings up the point. She does. Yeah, I agree with you, NJ. She doesn't need a love interest, but it's like DC for some reason wants everyone to have a love interest.
I mean, it makes for good drama, like good melodrama, grounds the power fantasy a bit. It's a necessary evil with these types of stories. I understand.
Tavia, it didn't fail. The Justice League of America alternate team did not fail.
Oh, no. He said to form the anti-Justice League, which failed.
But the book didn't fail.
No. He's not talking about the book. He's talking about the team failed to be an anti-Justice League.
Did it though? They still fought the Justice League.
But it did. They didn't stop it. They didn't stop them. They just simply went head to head.
That's because of the crime syndicate, bro.
Well, yeah, and then the book got canceled. So clearly, I won't say he's completely wrong. He's just not fully right.
Okay, my apologies, Davia.
And Brett, while Steve isn't that recognizable,
the name is though.
The name is, and like I said, he is the only. Again, Bretman has Selena, Talia, Silver at the very least. Superman has at the very least Lana, Lori, and Lois. But Diana, Steve.
Yeah, and NJ brings up a good point. Well, here's the thing. I hope you mean Amira's not a love interest for Diana. I'm going to assume that. But it's like, in terms of which character is more well-known, I as a character and a love interest, Mira is more like recognizable than Steve, I would say.
Yep. I mean, it's like with Spidey. You have MJ, Gwen, and Felicia as his three.
As the holy trinity of hot women.
As anyone else besides them, it's very hit and miss, if at all.
No one cares about Carly Cooper, Dan Slott.
Yeah, but no, that was Casada more than Slott.
All right.
But my point about Diana, just Steve.
Yeah. And Britt says people call him Steve Rogers. Well, he looks just like Steve Rogers. But the other thing about this is like now here's the thing.
I'm sorry. This just came to me.
Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry, just right quick, Jared. I hate to cut you off.
Yeah.
I just realized this came to me during the DC Marvel crossover. You could swap out Steve Rogers and Captain America during the whole World War II era, and they would never do this. I'm just saying you could, and nothing in those early Wonder Woman stories would change.
That's true.
That shows how generic. Because here's the thing: if you can replace a character with another one and the story does not change, that's a problem. But anyway, but what I want to say, and Britt, I think you had said this about the fact that you had argued that that they created Trinity because King wants to lock Diana with Steve. Here's the thing about that. That's not the DC thing, because here's the thing. By that logic, Bruce should only be with Talia.
Yeah.
Hey, what's up, Parker? Yeah, so that's not necessarily. Plus, again, if that was really a thing, they could again. Here's the thing. The thing about this whole situation. Okay, so actually, you know what? Let's go over the interview that King gave, because Britt, my lovely assistant, took notes. What she said is, Diana has mama bear instincts and is a badass. Oh boy. As much as she is a symbol of love and compassion, she's still a badass. Really? We haven't seen that love and compassion. Matriarch is an evil Disney princess design. No shit. Wonder War is inspired by Days of Future Past. Another thing he's ripping off. Diana will be old Wonder Woman with Trinity set 20 years from now. Okay. he wanted to give Wonder Woman a Lex Luthor, like a bald guy, which is matriarch. Well, here's the thing about that.
Wonder
She's in the
Woman.
future. She's not going to be around that much. Anyway, Leslie and Liza are like sisters, being the first children of Amazons and a human male. Sovereign Steve confirming that matriarch is Sovereign's kid.
Yeah.
Oh my, you pervert. They are raised under different circumstances. Okay, you haven't seen it. Confirmed Emily is dead. Well, yeah, she got shot in the face. I'm pretty sure she's dead. Mouse Man returns as matriarch servant.
What? Dr. Psycho was unavailable?
Dr. Psycho gets killed.
Wait, that was a joke.
Dr. Psycho gets executed by matriarch. Mouse can never escape the Rat Man. Wonder War will be a matriarch kills all heroes. The only one left is Diana, and she sat on her ass.
Yep.
The whole time.
Well, all of her friends got killed too.
Yeah, I know. That would not happen. Wonder War is an 8-issue arc, so at least we know it's not going to be like Sovereign arc length. He said the Trinity book was an antidote to the books he normally writes about suicide and depression. Okay. His daughter is the influence of Trinity. If your daughter's the influence of Trinity, that is the biggest insult to your daughter, brother.
Well, okay.
No, because he's like, no, because like, so if your daughter's the influence, does your daughter punch your wife?
Dude, come on. Tribute characters happen all the time, man. I get what you're trying to do.
No, but I understand that. But here's the difference, though. It's like Bendis. Okay, I'm gonna say he must not be named. Did not have McDuffie punch Superman in the face. That's the difference.
Why did you say that name?
I know you keep focusing on the punch, dude.
No, I'm bringing that up because that's the most obvious example here, and I'm like, bro. If you did that, if she's supposed to be the influence, why did you make her the most unlikable person in the book? And that says a lot because your version of Wonder Woman is in the book.
A lot of Marvel comics do this too. I'm only using the term for accuracy purposes. I don't really believe one way or the other. The quote unquote girl boss trope where they make the female protagonist very snarky, obnoxious, and all that. You mostly saw it with like Captain Marvel especially, but you saw it with other characters like too. You saw it with Jane Foster's Ford doing all new, all different, though again not to the same degree. You saw it with Spider-Gwen a couple of times, and there's another one that used this trope a lot, but I forget the name. But anyway, to where the whole purpose of
Squirrel Girl to a degree.
Yep, Squirrel Girl. Thank you. And Ironheart especially did.
Oh, Ironheart, yes.
Especially did this. And it's just where it's the most insufferable dialogue you can imagine. And like someone actually went over and approved this editorially. Like this isn't punk. This isn't trying to meet a demographic with the teen audience. This is hello fellow kids energy in the most obnoxious way possible.
Oh, she's the leader of the Justice League, and she's the greatest thing ever. And she's like, oh, I could have been. I could have been here earlier, but I was dealing with all of these, like with 3 deities. I understand it takes a while.
Kevya, it's not tanking.
Wait, seriously, DC should just end this run because of why it's not. It's tanking if it gets below 100.
I'll argue the run is mediocre to bad, but sales wise,
it's still It's
on the lower end for sure, but again, I don't consider a book tanking until it passes 100. If it passes 100, then you could say that.
I'll say this:
Trinity is tanking for sure.
But that was a mini anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
But is that it is doing sales that Wonder Woman the book had not seen since Rebirth started.
You name another example.
Exactly true though.
Tevy's going to go off if I say this, but I'm going to say it anyway. Super Sons, for example, the highest it peaked was outside of its initial first volume. The highest it ever got after that was maybe 75,000.
Which
not counting
where was that
re-release.
ranking?
Back in early 2017, like right after the first.
But that wasn't. I don't think that was even top 100.
And
like
NJ,
I said,
trust me, NJ, I agree with you. But from DC's perspective, that's not considered tanking. For some reason, that's not considered tanking.
like I said, it was unlisted for the majority of its run, not counting the collective editions, not counting the sales from the collective editions. You're probably looking at the highest number the Super Sons ever got was maybe 75 to 80,000.
Yeah, but again, for a long, and it's still, say what you will about King stuff, the numbers are still decent compared to what Wonder Woman had for the past, I won't say decade, but at least 5 years.
Well, let me put it this way. They won't take action whether or not that's removing King or making him like severely retool until it drops below 100.
Consistently, not just one issue.
I'd say like 2 or 3 issues. If it's 3 issues below 100, that's when they either say, "Can you?" A thing I could see them doing is telling him to end the Wonder War early.
And he might have a little bit of leverage with editorial, considering that they did him dirty when they decided to drop 5G. He might have some leverage there behind the scenes. He got Batman, Catwoman, Max.
I say that leverage has probably already been used already.
Fair enough.
I think so too. But I'm just like NJ. Let's wait and see the sales. Because as far as we know, that. Because he, even as part of the interview, Britt said that King had said that he's in a transition period for his career, and currently movies are taking up like 80% of his time. So as far as we know, because here's the thing, Wonder War, in his own words, is the culmination of his run. So what that indicates to me is this could be the end, and it could be the end where he voluntarily withdraws.
No, that's not guaranteed.
Not guaranteed.
Because a lot of times where things accumulate and then they keep going.
Yeah, so we'll see what happens with this, but we'll know more, I would say, when we're like partway in on it, and then we get like a few of these solicits. And if they start talking about it's all been leading to this, and like the landmark run ends, yeah, that's when I say he's done, and then we can like all like jump up and down.
I would say at the very earliest he'll end at 40.
Yeah, that's what I think too, because if this is 8 issues and he starts at 31, that would go to 39, and then you could have 40 as like an ending issue.
And thank you, Nexion. Thank you so much for subscribing. Merry Christmas to you too.
Yeah, exactly. And yeah.
Now the other alternative is, I think at the very least he's going to go up to that. And then I think he might stick around for one more storyline afterward for a wrap up.
I don't, but it's like, dude, but it's like, would they really give him a storyline for a wrap up, or just like an issue or so?
Well, it depends. It depends if they want to end at 40 or 50.
That's true. That's the other.
And now the other thing is though, it's clear they're not ending books and doing new number ones like some people thought they were.
No,
because Flash is still going. So there's a better chance that they're not, that he could end at 40 and have someone take over and move up to 50.
I would say so.
I planned to make a video on this, but I never got around to it. But ever since Teen Titans Academy, the Teen Titans IP has been completely shelved.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's why we're having the new book coming up. Oh, not the new book, the renaming.
Yeah,
exactly.
New Titans.
Yeah, but we'll see what happens with the Wonder Woman thing, and obviously I'll be covering this as well. But yeah, so let's see what else we do. Let's do a brief Q&A, and then we will wrap up for the night.
Mm-hmm.
Any questions about any topics that you guys would like us to talk about? Britt, what do you mean?
90% of it's of King's time, not 80%. He said 80%.
Okay. Yeah, but that's the interesting point. If most of his time is being taken up with the movies, and he clearly wants to go to the movies, that's why I'm like, if he's wrapping up, and combined with King's previous statement saying he may leave the book soon because of that, I would say the Wonder War is there's about, I'd say a 60%.
60%, yeah.
60%.
It is the end.
Yeah, but hey, 40 issues.
Nothing
to sneeze at.
That's more than most Wonder Woman writers get now.
Let's be honest. The average Wonder Woman lengthy run is 30.
Yeah,
maybe
exactly.
didn't one run?
Oh, there was one that lasted longer. I'm just saying on average.
Okay.
Yeah, on average. But yeah, and obviously we'll be covering it and whether or not what comes before or after anyway. But yeah,
Yeah, because I would say like Burn, it was on for 30. Loeb, Mesner Loeb, I think was on for 30-ish, maybe a bit more than that.
Tevia has a good question. With the Absolute Comics teaming up characters, who do you think the next crossover is going to be? He thinks it's going to be Absolute Flash and Superman. I think he's talking about in relation to like Wonder Woman and Batman.
Yeah.
Flash and Superman, I could actually see. Actually, Superman and Green Lantern.
Yeah, that's
they are the closest in terms of tone, I would think.
Right.
No, thank you, Robert. No more.
Actually, okay, Cameron. Actually, this brings up a topic. Hear me out. How the movies work. Okay. With the DCU Titans movie. Okay. Depending.
First of all, that's on hold right now.
Yeah, that's on hold.
That's on hold. NJ, you'll love this. It's on hold because they're prioritizing Wonder Woman.
Yeah, because you're gonna have a chapter called Gods and Monsters. I get it from a business standpoint, especially how 84 stunk at the box office. I can understand holding off on her at least till we get the Justice League, and then you have her play a supporting role.
And don't call your first chapter Gods and Monsters.
And not include Wonder Woman. So that was your first major mistake. Second, Titans. I know that the Teen Titans 03 or new Teen Titans roster would be ideal. You can get the most nostalgia out of it.
Well, the Titans they're going with right now is a whole new team.
No, I'm not talking about the comics. I'm talking about the DC.
Oh, the movie. I'm sorry. Yeah.
Well, it's the one everyone recognizes. Yeah. So it's not just nostalgia because that's the Wolfman Perez run.
Yeah, but Teen Titans 03 is kind of like it takes elements of the Perez run for the most part, but it also it mixes in several other arcs too, such as Technicity.
Oh, no, I get that. But as far as the roster,
okay,
that's why I do not. I'll be honest. That's why I don't like when people try and treat it like, oh, it's its own roster when it's like it's mostly the Wolfman Perez minus a few characters
due to licensing issues. I mean,
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, because otherwise they would have had Donna on.
Oh yeah, hey, why do you think they put it in the comic? Because they could get away with it in the comic.
Yeah, exactly.
Which I say, I like that design for Donna.
Yeah, that was actually a good one. That was actually a really good one.
Heck, I like that and the way they handled Ravager.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Those comics were surprisingly good, believe it or not.
Oh yeah.
But a very rare time the DCAU comics were. Oh, and Britt says in the interview he made it seem like Matriarch and the Wonder War was the end. So again, we'll see. Because here's the thing: I'm not on the it's ending train yet because I've been burned before. I'm like,
and I'm
gonna feel things out.
And like I said, when the people are saying you're the accumulation of everything from the start. That's you. That sometimes that does mean just straight up what it means, but that doesn't mean that's the end of the run.
Now, in the event it is, when it's confirmed by DC Comics and him, it's the end. I will be jumping up and down. We will do an emergency stream.
Let me say this, Britt. It's like when we went over Peter David's Supergirl. The issue 74 was the accumulation of the Earth Angel stuff. But then he wanted to do more, and he went forward, and he was going to go in a completely different direction. It just got cut short. So again,
hang on. To be fair to Britt, she didn't say that like King had said that like, this is like the grand culmination of my story.
Oh no, I know. I'm just simply pointing that out because that was brought up earlier. So I'm just saying, even if he says that doesn't mean the run ends.
Yeah, and for Man Tomorrow casting Wonder Woman Maxima, it could be both. Honestly, because it's Gunn, I could see him going more for Maxima.
And it's going to be traditional Maxima.
Oh, yeah. You better believe if he's going with traditional Maxwell Lord, not evil D-bag Maxwell Lord, he's going to go with the regular Maxima.
Oh, yeah, and NJ, we get it. There's a strong chance. That's what we're saying 60 as of now.
Now, obviously, as stuff starts piling on, maybe I'll add a couple of percentage points. Just like this way, you can be 100% sure if you want. It's just for us personally, we're not celebrating yet. If it's announced, you better believe I'm going to be celebrating.
Yeah, but again, we don't know.
So let's just wait.
And that's right, because I say, let's be honest, he's coming closer to 50. There's a good chance he might want to last until 50.
Yeah, so again, Let's wait and see what happens. I do think we are approaching the end. I'm not going to say it's like near future or far future, but I think we are approaching the end. But well, here's the thing. Because of the DCU workload, that's why I think it's sooner rather than later.
Mm-hmm.
But back to Cameron's previous
yeah,
question. In terms of the Titans, and this is for DCU, of course.
Mhm.
For the Titans, I would just, if I had to do a Teen Titans movie, I would just do the actual Jeff Johns run with Tim Drake. You know, just because that was just a revamp of Young Justice.
Well, yeah.
And just, you know, that way you have Tim with the Titans, and then Damian, and then you have Damian as Robin in the Batman movies. And then maybe by the time we get to chapter 2, maybe even chapter 3, I would say late chapter 2 at the absolute earliest, then transition Tim into Red Robin. I would not do the New 52 did and just have him Red Robin from the start.
Well, here's the thing though. Here's the thing though. I don't think you have enough time to fit in a mostly established Teen Titans like what Jeff Johns' was.
Oh, I was just in terms of the roster, not in terms of the overall storylines.
Well,
okay.
Well, here's the other thing. If the Jeff Johns, you would then need to establish Connor.
You already had Ultraman as pseudo Bizarro.
But that's not.
Ultraman was thrown into a black hole, bro.
And that was a pure Superman, not Superman Lex.
Yeah. I mean,
we need that. We need the Superman Lex.
You would have to like fully like cram that storyline in and all this other stuff to establish the team, and that would be cramming a lot in there if you went with that.
Licensing issue.
Cameron, no, not after the with Alex Ross and DC on the outs because of them using designs like that. No.
Yeah, exactly.
I'd rather they would do.
Unless they're willing to pay Alice Ross royalties, they're not going to do it. But
yeah. Well, that's the thing. But that's for the design. That they count for the name.
Yeah, but
like what if they went with the? Can I say this? I did not mind the New 52 design for Tim.
It was a basic glider suit.
Wait, the non-Tron suits, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, the one with the glider wings.
Tron suits.
The one with the glider wings.
Yeah, exactly. The casting is described as super heroine. Yeah, so the way I kind of see it, because particularly with Gunn including like Guy Gardner and stuff, and him being a big fan of like JLI, I really think I'm leaning toward it's not Wonder Woman. I think it's Maxima.
And Tevia, to answer your question, let's put it this way. Alex Ross got so tired of DC just utilizing his designs left, right, and center for so many things and without him getting royalties for their designs.
He's got a point.
They did try to screw him over.
Yeah, exactly.
Multiple times. DC editorial is infamous for that. At least Marvel.
That's why one of the things that's probably one of the things that when they hold on. Oh yeah. Was Marvel doesn't have that many like when they utilize it, it's usually the book he's doing the covers for.
Yeah, exactly. But any concluding questions before we wrap up for the day, for the evening? And then tomorrow is Super Wonder Legacy, where Britt and I are going to be doing our year-end Q&A. As far as movie night, I don't think we
didn't talk about that yet.
Okay, so what do you guys want? And you in the chat can also.
Hey, we did John Carter. Let's do the other biggest bomb. Let's do Lone Ranger.
Oh boy. Let's save that one. Let's save that one.
Save that one for a rainy day.
All right, guys. Since we did one bomb.
What's another movie that we can do that'd be really fun?
Have we done Craven?
Yes.
Dang it.
No, we haven't.
Yeah, I thought. Yeah, we did.
That was a CLD topic, not on movie.
Oh, okay. Good point.
We could actually. You guys want to do Craven? Are you guys craving some Craven?
Yep.
All right, we're doing Craven. And Tavia, we did do Dread 2012. So we're doing.
Oh, I wasn't here for that.
We are doing. So with Absolute Universe being a success, I'm curious what other heroes you think will happen next.
Ooh, that's hard.
Number of characters. There's so many characters.
Hawk. I know we already seen Hawkman.
By the way, James Cameron says he will hold a press conference to reveal Avatar 4 and 5 storylines if Fire and Ice underperforms and ends the franchise early.
I give the man props. He knows that the luck can only go on for so long. His deal with the devil.
Yeah, so it's like at the very least, I'll just tell you this. Or again, you have comics.
Yeah, that's something he has considered doing, like a novel.
Yeah, you could do that 100%. Just do it that way. But
But
yeah, but
I give him props for doing that, where he's making sure he can end it at a trilogy. But if he can, he'll do the next two.
yeah, exactly. We do know episodes Zatanna will appear in, I think, Wonder Woman. Yeah, Zatanna is in Wonder Woman currently. NJ does say that Gunn did not debunk all the rumors about Wonder Woman being a Man tomorrow, though, and he do it ASAP. We'll see on that, because it hasn't necessarily been an organized thing that it would be Wonder Woman.
Right.
So, and again, NJ, it could be Diana. I'm just gonna wait and see, like, what, like, if, because I'm saying that with Gunn prioritizing the like obscure-ish characters, I wouldn't be surprised if it's Maxima.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
This is my question for the chat. I mean, for the panel, but the chat can answer as well. Do you think Brave and the Bold is going to stay the same, or or they're just going to delay it until after the
I heard they got new writers. I think
They have new writers, but the director's still on board.
Okay, but
so.
yeah, but
Chances are, whole new story.
Okay.
Do you think it'll still be Damien though?
Probably not.
Yeah, I'm
honest. Go ahead, Jared.
Honestly, I mean, if they want to just cram in the Bat family and just say it happened in between there, yeah, they could just go with that. But I could see them just going with a Grayson as Robin.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but what if Matt Reeves? Now, I'm not one of these people who made edits on the Bat version Superman trying to make a World's Finest compilation. But I don't see, if you did try to make the Batman work, you would have to completely restructure. You would have to restructure the original plans first of all, and you would have to restructure a lot of smaller details. But not only that, I'm mixed because this is an opportunity to actually have a Bat family film in live action. The last we had was Batman and Robin, infamously. Mm-hmm. So I see both sides of the argument. If you want an organic build-up, Grayson is the way to go. But with Matt Reeves' epic crime saga, they're gonna want to use Grayson, at least in some capacity. It's more grounded, it's more practical.
Here's the other thing, though. I don't know if Reeves wants to use Robin at all because of how young Batman is.
Yeah.
I mean, you could set it. I mean, yeah, but you still could set it up in a sequel, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, you could. It's like, let me put it this way: they could very well just keep Damien, and you know what? If they do that, that's like, okay, I can kind of.
I'm still thinking they're going to keep Damien. I still think they are.
Yeah. We'll see on that. And
yeah.
Real quick, what do you guys think that Superboy Prime is going to be taking over as the main Superman in the universe?
I'm curious because Williamson is, been doing real good stuff with him.
Yeah, that I'm like, okay, I kind of want to check that out because, like Robert said, Superboy Prime has been doing pretty well recently, and if you're gonna make him the Superman, I'm like, first off, what happened to Clark, which that interests me, but also it's like the idea of Superboy Prime now becoming like the chief hero. I'm like, that's interesting.
Yep.
Connor was right there. That's all I'm saying. They're just never going to give Connor the time of day. I've accepted.
Connor is in Supergirl.
Yeah, exactly. And then Britt,
as they deal with Boy Thunder.
Yeah, and then Britt says casting is in January. Yeah, exactly. So we'll find out exactly who that mystery character is in January.
By the way, I am so surprised they're going with a unknown for Brainiac.
I mean, because
I know, I'm glad. I should say I'm not surprised. I'm glad. That's what I meant.
It was the safest choice.
And here's the thing. It's like with Brainiac, he's an alien that's going to be under heavy makeup. So it really doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
And at least we have confirmation that we're finally going to get a Brainiac in a movie.
Yeah, hey, third time's the charm.
Third time, watch it not work. If it doesn't work, if somehow this thing falls apart, I would advise Hollywood, do not use Brainiac ever.
Yep. Because remember, and if that happens, then that means the closest we'll ever get to a Brainiac was Superman 3.
Yeah, exactly. By the way, Britt says Brave and the Bold changes are probably tone-wise. Yeah, I would say that. It's probably tone-wise.
Yeah, I think they're going to change tone-wise, but I think they're going to still keep it, for with Damien.
Yeah, I would say so. So we'll see what
If
happens.
nothing else, though, I think they're going to go with a 13-year-old Damien.
Yeah, I would say so. So too far to do a Super Sons movie. Anyway, so let's wrap this up. So Robert, where can we find you and what have you got coming on your channel?
Link down below. Got Pro Teachers Noob still in the works, and I'm coming up to 650 and my 4th year anniversary.
Hell
Hey,
yeah!
congratulations.
Congratulations, brother.
Yep, and on that one, I will be covering Dan Slott's Silver Surfer, and then in a few more episodes, when I get to 666, I'm covering iZombie. Yes, I'm on a Michael kick.
Hell yeah! How about you, Jay?
As for me, you can find me at JHeat75 or JHeat Blaze. My collab with Robert. What if Damian Wayne was the son of the demon? I want to go ahead and set a date for that, December 31st, New Year's Eve, probably around 6 or 7 Eastern. What'd you say,
Sure
Rob?
thing.
Yeah, okay, 6 or 7 Eastern.
Sure thing. Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. And also Jared and I did a collaboration on New Direction with Heroes in Crisis recently. We had a blast on that one.
Yeah, that was fun.
And let us know what new direction topics you want us to cover first. Any specific character, any specific creative team. We might do Mega Man next, or we might do a God Killer prequel, to be determined.
That could be fun. But yeah, as for Comics Eagle, like I said, tomorrow Britt and I are going to be talking about doing our end of the year Q&A, and we'll be reviewing Wonder Woman, Trinity, Absolute Superman, Absolute Wonder Woman if we can, and Bomb Queen and Green Lantern. And as for Amazon Answers, I'll probably be talking about like some of the Wonder Woman stuff I got for Christmas, and maybe just doing a Q&A for Wonder Woman. And
Superpowers we still haven't figured out yet.
Yeah, we will in a sec. I was going to talk to you about that. But anyway, stay work, everyone. Remember, Lois Lane is Lois Lame. She blows General Zod. Zoe Max about for life. And hashtag King of Wonder Woman.